And a lot of people were expecting, we all called it the race for second place. And it's a blowout. It is an absolute blowout at this point. John Cox, what is it? Is it the Trump tweet, or is it something else? Diane, the Republican. I mean, what was it?
You know, I think there's some reason to think that people genuinely want a Republican on the ballot in November. There was some late coalescing around Cox, I think, among Republicans. And so that did shift it a bit that way. The Trump tweet, I'm sure, helped that. But with the gas tax repeal coming and the sanctuary state battle looming, I think people wanted to see that D versus R, and here we are.
It's interesting when you look at this, what a crushing blow this has to be to Antonio Villaraigosa and a lot of the other candidates who have campaigned extremely hard and spent a lot of money over the last year and a half.
Yeah, I think so. I think the people who would vote for Villaraigosa are probably not the people who cast their early ballots. And I think a lot of the numbers that we're seeing today, that 17%, a lot of that is absentee ballots that started counting this morning. So the people who voted today in person, you know, Latinos tend to not vote early. They tend not to be strong partisans. And so if we're going to see any sort of uptick in Latino vote, I don't think he's going to catch up with Cox. It's funny that you said, you know, Republicans rallied around him. Democrats rallied around him too. And so thinking that he'll be an easier competitor than having a Newsom-Villaraigosa race.
The Gavin Newsom political advertisements, let's be honest, they would mention John Cox, and it was the most attack ads I'd ever seen in my life, because Gavin Newsom has wanted this as well.
Right.
Because he sees it as, he's looking at the numbers and he says there's no way I lose to John Cox in November.
Well, the funny thing is I actually saw an ad on TV and I'm like, this is a great Cox ad. And then it's like, it was a Newsom ad. And I was like, well, yeah, that tells you a lot about what he's hoping for. But I think Republicans need to be very careful because we have a legitimate shot at this. There's good reason to want a Republican on the November ballot. It does help down ballot races and other ballot measures and propositions that'll be there in November.